So you're feeling stuck. Time is passing and you can't see the wood for the trees. Maybe you feel completely trapped in the eating disorder and part of you is so terrified to let it go. Now today I'm going to give you 5 harsh truths about eating disorder recovery, and this is going to help motivate you and set you on the right path. I'm Harriet Fruit, eating disorder therapist, and this is the Eating Disorder Therapist podcast. Do go and check out all my audio episodes if you haven't listened before. I recovered from bulimia in my mid-20s, so I've been there, I know what it's like. So before we dive in, just to let you know that guest interviews are coming back to the podcast, let's go. Look out for them. So if eating disorder recovery was just an easy peasy walk in the woods, picking bluebells and skipping along beautiful paths, then you probably wouldn't be watching this video. Now, although recovery can lead to some pretty spectacular destinations and a whole bucket load of inner peace, it's often very bumpy with lots of rocks and weeds and tangled bits along the road, blocking the way, and it can feel frankly quite terrifying. Now, this is not to put you off embarking on the recovery road, because in fact it's to support you, to really give you an honest reality and to empower you to keep on going. That's what we want on the recovery road. So here are 5 bitter truths about recovery. Number 1, there is never a right time to recover. I realise now that you won't ever really feel ready for recovery. You may postpone it until after your friend's wedding or after your exams or after some big event or something. You'll just keep putting it off, hoping that it will become a little easier. But the fantasy of the future you is often romantic and idealised. You know, you imagine that one day you're just going to jump out of bed, just think, this is it, I'm going to recover, today's the day. But actually, it's probably never going to happen that you're going to have that one day that just changes everything. If it does, great. But it's often not the case. Motivation doesn't often flow day to day in that way that we're hoping for. So the thing to really recognise here, that if you're holding out for the perfect moment, it's probably not going to happen, and it's understandable that you're going to keep procrastinating on and on. You're waiting, stagnant in the swamp and holding on to a glimmer of hope. So do not do that. Instead, don't waste another moment of this one and precious life. Decide to start today and take the very first step. And you may feel completely ambivalent, in 2 minds about it, and the whole decision might just feel overwhelming, but it doesn't matter, okay? 1 step forward, repeated again and again, leads to cumulative, lasting change, which is so beneficial. Number 2, you will experience grief and recovery. Letting go of an eating disorder does bring waves of unpredictable grief. It can be really all over the place. Maybe you grieve your relationship with the disorder because it kept you safe and secure. You grieve the old body, the familiar touch points, body checking, looking in the mirror. You grieve the time lost from obsessing over food and days lost in that bubble of disconnection. And you grieve the identity you had. Maybe you were the sort of skinny person or the really healthy person, even though it was dysfunctional and not completely honest. Now, this grief will naturally arise, even if the eating disorder has stripped your life away. So welcome the grief. And you don't need to understand it or explain it. Just be compassionate to yourself. It's part of the journey. And the grief won't be linear. It will ebb and flow, coming out sometimes in hysterical bursts of tears, and other times it might just be like a deep heartache for what has gone. All of this is normal. Number 3, it's often 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Now, early recovery is messy, it can feel complicated, all the things. Extreme hunger might terrify you because you want to devour everything in sight. And you may feel worryingly full. Perhaps you're often constantly bloated and uncomfortable. And your suppressed emotions rise to the surface in uninhibited waves and spurts, bringing surprised rage, ugly crying, and sinking despair. And you might think, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this recovery? And you might just dive in one day with enthusiasm and then retreat the following day at speed. But remember, this is all normal, okay? Recovery is not linear. It is an imperfect and messy road. And the important thing is to keep going and stay focused on your why. Remember that the old familiar ways, they didn't work out. And although they feel seductive, they are not the answer. The goal is simply to keep going, putting one foot in front of the other. Just keep on going. Okay, number 4. Toe dipping in recovery is like rearranging the deck chairs on the sinking Titanic. Okay, I like this analogy or metaphor. I always get confused which is which. It's natural to want to negotiate and bargain with recovery. Please can I eat more, but my body stays the same. Toe dipping though in recovery brings you to such a frustrating place where you never really achieve peace. You're going round and round in circles, you're pulling in opposing directions, and it's exhausting, that ambivalent place. So this keeps you stuck in old behaviours and going around in ever decreasing circles. You chase your tail and you visit the familiar places on repeat. You remain hungry, tired and obsessed with food. So half recovery is genuinely stuckness. So instead, take the full recovery route. Yes, it is scary and unknown. Yes, you might gain weight, but you're going to gain so much more. You're going to gain a new life with new opportunities. Number 5. This is a hard one. No one is coming to save you. Now, it's a natural human fantasy to want to be airlifted from recovery. We all want it. We want to be sort of airlifted out of the jungle where we can be taken to safety and really looked after. Now, this is sadly imagination and not reality. The reality of recovery is walking the unknown path through the jungle with support, but with a weather-torn map as you navigate these uncharted places together. Now, people can really support you, encourage you and uplift you. People are important, relationships are important, but no one can fix you and take away your pain. Now, this is the bitter pill to swallow, but also gives you the responsibility to really grab the steering wheel of your life and drive, okay? And you don't realize it yet, but how infinitely powerful you are and how different your life can be, okay? So keep taking action every day. So how is your recovery journey going? Do share your wins and your bumps in the road if you'd like to in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Thank you for watching the Eating Disorder Therapist podcast. And I look forward to sharing another video with you very soon.